So let's say, you know, I've got an idea and I think I want to do an online learning program to teach people how to, I don't know, recruit or interview or something like that. What would be the steps that I should take to see if that's realistic?
Well, number one, I think we've got to establish that number one, there is a need for that. So, you know, the question I would ask you straight away is, are you trying to do that to get people to come to use you as a recruiter, or do you want to empower people how to recruit?
That's a good question. It isn't actually a real idea, by the way. But that's a great question. Okay, so what's the reason you're actually doing it? Is the thing.
Yeah. So you know, and these are all the values that you've got to unlock. You know, and it goes a lot deeper than just unlocking values. It's understanding what are the customer pain points that a particular market has, and what are the triggers for those pains. And then what can you do to solve those problems? Then you design the product.
So can you tell me about how not to do it? Perhaps you've had an example of somebody that, you know, might have had a great idea, but because they haven't actually gone about it in the right way, it's completely fallen on its head. Can you give advice as to how not to launch a new product?
I see quite a few. And what it is what happens is people just get that eureka moment. Ping! Oh, an idea's just come to me. And basically what they do is they're so determined that that is what's going to work, that they just keep ploughing on, straight on, and they go straight to launch the idea without going through a proper testing and shaping process. And because their mindset is fixed, they're not receiving feedback, they're not testing. And then what happens, they launch something, and we see it quite often with things that we've not been involved with that you look at afterwards, and they keep wondering, why isn't anyone buying my product? And it's because they haven't created something that matches up. So it's got your product and service doesn't solve the customer's problem. When you get an understanding of the customer's problems, and you create products and services that solve those pains and give them the results they want, you get traction. What happens is if someone just has an idea and creates a product and service without doing the hard graft of getting under the customer's problem and skin, they create something that no one wants.
How do you find out what all the problems are?
Well, very easy, to be honest with you. A lot of the time is you just go and talk to people. If you've got an idea and you've got an area, you go and, you know, you start to research, you know, and you ask people. So if I've got an early stage idea, what I'll do is I'll actually just go out and talk to people to say, well, look, how do you find this? What issues do you find with this? If something like this, you know, was developed, would that be of value to you? Because there's no point going ahead with an idea that doesn't have enough value that means people will pay for it. This
takes time, doesn't it? The situation we've been in, we've been in a pandemic.
No, crystal clear. Let's just be crystal clear. If you short circuit it, you can spend thousands on marketing and creating things and wasting hours.
Yes, so my question on that was going to be, how many customers do you need to speak to, and how can you do that quickly? Not to shortcut it, but actually, how do you do that efficiently and quickly so you can get moving?
You can do an online survey. You know, there's certain places that you can go on and you can write some questions, and you can pay a couple £100, and it will go bang out to the internet, and you can get the answers back, you know, from people. So you could do something. If you phrase the questions well, you've got to really think that through. You could get feedback in a week. And I'll tell you what, you know, so many people are message and WhatsApp, everything, which I love that technology. Just go and speak to people.
How many customers would you need to speak to get an overview?
I think if I could come in there. There are times when you can qualify without going and talking to customers if you're concerned about maybe a new idea and you don't want it getting out and you want to keep it disclosed. So there are ways to assess that. And I'm working with one particular case like that at the moment, where what we've done is gone onto the internet and gone into every single online forum and just gauged what people are saying on online forums.
Great idea.
Now, you cannot find a better place to qualify if a problem exists on an online forum. If you go on to car forums and things like Piston Head and all that, you can just read what people are saying about things and what problems are existing.
So to summarize then, we've spoken about embracing digital technology, finding something that's a repeatable process that can be used at scale, and to make sure that, don't do what others have done and not test it and not find out the problems to to customers before actually launching something. So don't go too quickly. Make sure you are getting feedback.